Right, coming up to lunchtime in the Amplified Leicester workshop, groups here have been thinking of all sorts of different ways to think about, talk about, explain Leicester to the visitors that are coming this afternoon, and also to each other. We've got a really well worked out diagram over here. What's this one?
Yeah, well, this is talking about the story of Leicester from the perspective of what I call the pressures for change, the pressures to develop the academic institutions haven't always been there as much as we've seen in recent years. Also with the city centre and other areas of development, those things have changed and the emphasis has gone on to those things. So what I've tried to do here over for 3 decades, 3 periods over 2 decades, to show how the weight of that emphasis has changed, but also to the strength of the links in order of importance or perceived importance. Because this is from my perceptions. You know, I'm new to this city, so what do I know? But that's how I see things, and it may change in 10 years' time. You might say that, for example, digital participation is going to be a key economic driver and also behind a more civic participation and involvement. But at the moment, digital participation there's no emphasis on it, getting everyone involved.
Thanks very much. Well, let's see how that relates to the group here.
What mean it?
Yeah, go on.
I'll do it then. I will. Basically, this is just a trigger to memories. Okay, what we did was, out of the 4 of us, 2 are not from Leicester, 2 are from Leicester, and it was just nice to see how we all perceived Leicester and how we could amplify it and get the mix of people and their views of Leicester. And that's basically it. It's just a trigger to memories of Leicester and how we perceive Leicester and how we can all join in that mix. Yeah, we've got it. That's basically it, really.
Anyone want to add some little points from here?
Anybody want to say anything?
Just to say that it was like looking at Leicester over time as well.
Yeah,
We've got like the history, the old and new, and the future, and it was a transliterate mess.
It's a very messy translation. Which I thought was really good.
Okay, well you can explore that more over lunch. How's this group
Leicester, really.
talking about? There looks like an I Love Leicester in the middle there, is that right?
It does, but it's upside down, but that's the nature of Leicester. I think we have here from the Comedy Festival that which describes Leicester best of all. On the same ticket, we've got Hardeep Singh Kohli and Roy Chubby Brown. You couldn't get 2 more opposites if you tried. On the back, we've also got Boy George and someone called Last Laugh. Oh no, it's Julian Clary.
Yeah.
I do get the 2 mixed up. But essentially we set out on our diagram to put down all that we see as positive in Leicester, and we amazed ourselves, consensus agreement, of actually what goes on in the city and how positive and the things we've got, which are really bright, cheerful icons we have of the city, and also how probably as a city we don't make the most of them.
Terrific. Any other thoughts around the group?
I think you said it well.
Great. So over here, where's next? There's a wonderful swirly diagram over here. Who's going to explain this one?
Who's talking? Go on.
This is basically a sort of map of the Leicester communities. Here in the centre is the actual city centre, the physical city centre, and as it goes out, these different communities mix less and less. So when they come to the centre, they have to mix. Everybody mix in the centre, but as they go further out, they come more segregated into their little communities. And we also put in certain sort of temporary mixing bowls, like in sports centres and on Victoria Park, when you have a festival, people come together and mix together in there. And then we drew the concept of physical barriers between these communities. So there's the river and railway line, which sort of goes through these communities and sort of presents a physical barrier for them mixing.